I'm Kevin Bissay. Today I'm here to explain the lyrics behind the song Hospital Bed from my album The Patient. I wrote the song because a friend of mine was diagnosed with some weird brain disease that was eating away at 1% of his brain a month or something. It was something crazy. I don't remember all the details, but I was like, wow, that's insane. And it was just kind of like getting on my mind because we were the same age and it was an intense circumstance. I sat down and started writing a song about how he had like these great expectations for his life and they were all gone. The song evolved until it became Hospital Bed. The song starts with a deep voice saying, I've got some bad news. That voice is a religion teacher that I have who has just this amazing, deep, resonant voice. I thought, man, this would be so cool if he could kind of play the doctor in this song who's telling the patient, the guy who's in the hospital bed, that he has some bad news for him. Back down on the hospital bed, life ain't no vacation. Disease that got stuck in his head, he lost expectation. That's that idea of this friend of mine who had this difficult trial in his life where he lost expectation. The friend now is actually totally fine. So, I mean, he had to like shave his head and stuff, and he had some crap go down, and he had to like see doctors, but they were able to control it, and he was fine. So, good news. The song still exists though, for other people who might have problems. Back in that old hospital room, oh, the night feels endless. Revelation don't come too soon. He's left defenseless. There's this popular thought that when you die, you see this light and you can approach the light and it's like this tunnel. I don't know if any of that's true, but it's a popular thought. And so that's where that idea of revelation don't come too soon, this revelation of when you die, you'll suddenly experience everything and you'll know all of the answers. So that new knowledge, that revelation, he doesn't want it to come because he's dying. And when the patient closes his eyes, he's got one last chance to embrace the light. This is a fun line, and I don't want to give away the answer because I love to have songs that have people's personal interpretations to it. So this one, I'm opting out of. Back down on the hospital bed, he's seeking solace. Slowly the words the doctor said form a sober chorus. He's literally getting news from the doctor, and it's slowly forming this chorus in his mind because he's dying and he's scared. There's also this thought of heaven as like being choral, that like there's going to be this choir of angels singing, and that's kind of where that comes from, is that the doctor's saying these words and then slowly it becomes this chorus. Clutches the ring held in his hand, life he's leaving behind. Coronets blare out from the band, and now he's crossing the line. The ring held in his hand, my friend was married, the ring in his hand represented his wife, his marriage, and all the things he'd be leaving behind. And I thought it was a really cool image to have someone kind of clutching to that symbol of life, that symbol of connection to other people. Because I think that's the only thing people miss when they die. Or at least that makes sense to me, that they would miss the people who they loved. And so that's why he's clutching the ring held in his hand, life he's leaving behind. Coronets blare out from the band, and now he's crossing the line. So again, there's this concept of heaven where you have all these angels playing trumpets, and a coronet is very similar to a trumpet. It's in the same neighborhood. It's brass, and it's also kind of looks like a trumpet. Also sounds better in the song. Coronets blare out from the band. Now he's crossing the line. Trumpets blare out from the band. Doesn't sound as epic. And that's what I wanted from the album. There's also another reason for it. So I'm a big fan of the poet T.S. Eliot. He is an inspiration to me, and he has a lot of good poetry that's in the public domain, and so I would read a lot of it to look for words. Not necessarily like whole lyrical lines all the time, but just words. And so there's one poem he has called Portrait of a Lady. Really good, a favorite of mine, and in it he talks about a boy with a big hat playing a cracked cornet, and I just loved the word cornet from that. And he's also talking about the band playing in that same poem, so that's where that cornet line came from. What roots are there to clutch? What branches grow? Oh son of man, where did you go? That's another T.S. Eliot inspired line. I didn't know what to do with the bridge with this song, and I was so lost. And one recommendation I have to all songwriters is that if you get lost, read some public domain poetry. Because if you can find a poem that reflects those same ideas, they likely struggled with words, couldn't find words, and if you ask them, what words should you use? You'll find it in their poems. So, that's what I did. T.S. Eliot has this epic poem called The Wasteland that's in the public domain, and so I can take any words from it, any phrases, and it's totally legal. He talks about what roots are there to clutch on this stony crag, and it's just this very epic symbol of someone trying to grasp onto what's left. And so I changed it to that. What roots are there to clutch? What branches grow? He also talks about what branches would grow. So he says those lines not in that way. Son of Man refers to the Son of Man of Holiness, who is Jesus Christ in the New Testament. It's not actually the Son of a Man, but rather the Son of God, who is the Man of Holiness. O Son of Man, where did you go? Is a reference to the crucifixion of Jesus Christ when on the cross he said, Father, Father, or Abba, Abba, why have you forsaken me? And also in the background of the song, you hear they come and they go, which is in reference to my song Etherized on the same album. Those lines are also inspired by a T.S. Eliot poem. He's a great poet. I recommend checking out his full body of work. Back down on the hospital bed, he's meeting heaven. Bloodshot eyes that are strained by red, he has learned his lesson. In my church, they say that one of the purposes of life is to learn and to gain experience. And so when the patient is meeting heaven, he is learning his lesson. He has completed his time here on earth. He has figured out what he came here to find out. And God has seen fit to take him from this world and bring him to the next. And the bloodshot eyes that are strained bright red, that's a pretty common occurrence of someone who doesn't have enough sleep and who is in pain, is that their eyes go bloodshot. Bloodshot eyes, it's when those red veins are coming into your eyes that are strained bright red. And when the patient closes his eyes, he's got one last chance. And when the patient closes his eyes, he's got one last chance. And when the patient closes his eyes, he's got one last chance to make things right. I'm gonna leave that last line up to you. He's got one last chance to make things right. What does it mean? How does it add up with the rest of the song? Love to hear your comments on the meaning of the chorus section. I guess you could call it that. Song short, so there weren't a lot of lyrics. If you have any other songs you'd like me to do, I've kind of been doing it one song per person who comments, so if you have another song that you want to be on here, get someone else to comment on it. This was from my brother, Stephen Bissay. He asked that I do one on hospital bed, so here you go, Stephen. Hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to do more songs from The Patient. If you want me to do other songs, that's cool too. Like and subscribe. Share it with your friends. Tell everyone else about The Patient. It's a really fun album, and I feel like it fits well with this intense time that we are living in. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.